for instance, not only lets you book a car and order food delivery, but you can book hotels, buy insurance, get a bank loan, and even book a doctor to visit you at home. Asia's everything apps take care of your needs, but they have not been as successful outside of Asia. Why is that? And will we see one released still in 2025? To find out how to build a global super app, in conversation with Shruti Mishra from CNBC's TV18, please welcome co-founder and CEO of Uno, Juan Pablo Ortega, founder and CEO of Qatar's very own Snoonu, Hamad Al-Hayri, and Chief Product Officer of Grab, Philip Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our discussion on building the global super app. Now, the rise of super apps has revolutionized the way users interact with digital services, from everything, from payments to e-commerce to transport to food delivery, all on a single platform. And these apps are not only transforming the way people live and work, but are also reshaping the future of digital commerce on a global scale. And we have with us three exceptional leaders who are building transformative apps. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Juan Pablo Ortega, the co-founder of Uno and Rappi, Hamad Al-Hajri, CEO of Snoonu. He's the crowd's favorite. And Philip Kendall, the CPO of Grab. Welcome, gentlemen. Let me start off with a broad question. A global super app typically involves a wide range of services. How does one select which services to integrate with the app to meet user needs? How are you all doing it? I mean, Philip, if you would like to go first.
Yeah, so I think we started in mobility and then expanded there to food, financial services, banking, and so on. And the core of it is very, very simple for us. We are there to serve our drivers and our merchants and allow them ultimately to have a better life by earning more, right? And that's kind of like where we select how can we add more services that help our audience, right? So, for example, when we launched food, we've seen that mobility services are primarily in the morning and in the evening peaks, but in the afternoon, drivers are idle. So adding food has exactly opposite peak hours, so we can keep our drivers more busy across the entire day, right? So that was a huge win. Then financial services was basically giving loans to our drivers that they can afford vehicles, that they can upgrade their vehicles, or merchants upgrading their stores. So that's kind of how the things fit together by keeping our drivers and merchants busy.
Hamad, how are you selecting which services to offer?
Yeah, so basically, I would say, why not to have super apps, yeah? Why business model have to stick to one service? Because we have three big factors. Number one, as example, in GCC, a slightly very small market. It's similar, the whole GCC is just 45 million people. Almost same thing in China. So many startups, many ideas will not be validated in GCC. It have to be embedded as part of super apps. The other thing, because it's slightly small market, the ecosystem is not mature enough. And that's why you need to have a super app that give this service to the customer. The last, I would say, consumer behavior. How do you think the future look like? How about you have 20 apps in your phone, and basically I need food from here. I need grocery from here. I need booking from here. Does that make sense? So I would say, why not to have super apps?
All right, Juan, but how are you not making it overwhelming for users? How are you selecting your services?
So in our case, in Rappi, it was a little bit different. We started as a delivery app of supermarkets and restaurant, or a convenience store. And we added a section that it was whatever you wanted, as Hamad said. And then people were able to put whatever. And we started seeing that people order electronics, people order different things. And that's kind of how we, basically following user preference, we started adding more services. But as you mentioned, it can be overwhelming, and I think we took it a little bit too far. We added live streaming, video games, and if you look at that, we kind of walled back on that. So today, you can get anything delivery. Financial services is another thing that it adds value to the users and it adds value to the app. For us, it wasn't that much giving credit to the couriers, but it was being able to expedite the payment experience. The whole financial service part of Rappi was built on how can we make it better for users to buy inside the app. And that experience actually led me to build Juno, which is solving the payment problems around the world.
All right. Coming back to you, Hamad, Nunu has become a notable player in the Gulf region. What kind of regional or cultural preferences would you keep in mind as you scale beyond borders?
Food. That's the first thing. Everyone likes food. Yeah. But I would say actually, especially super apps can tap into more local experience because it will provide multiple services in different need for the customer. And actually, it's competitive advantage in front of global company like Uber. I believe Grab was answer for Uber in Singapore market. Rappi was answer for Uber Eats in Colombia market than South America. Same soon, we have a Germany company, we have British company, and by focus to hyper-local need was the only answer to customize the experience of our customer. But I would say in the future, especially with majority of youth and young people, loyalty and gamification will play a big role, and we already done it. So we launch a loyalty program, connect with tier system, include quest gamification, and NFT by achievement system. I would say this will be a big bid for us, especially in GCC area.
Okay. You know, Philip, Grab evolved from a ride-hailing app to a super app today. What were some of the challenges in terms of user adoption and scaling business? From that perspective, what were some of the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
I think building the platform that works across everything was very, very challenging.
Sure.
Right? Like, so our first food services were very, very basic. Right? Like we send a driver to a restaurant, order physically at the restaurant, and then pick up the food and wait for it. Right? Like without any integration. Right? Like so, as we came from the ride-hailing space, we needed to learn all these other industries, and that took time. Right? Like we know that our first foray into a new market and a new segment takes time to learn and adjust to that. And then like building a platform that works across everything, right? Like it has really to do with our drivers, our merchants, right? Like that they can use all the services and adapt to them. That has been definitely a challenge.
And I want to talk to you about your technology and infrastructure because you're now today catering to millions of users. To take us through your tech edge, how did you build this into a super app and scaling infrastructure and scaling technology?
Yeah, I mean, our app in Southeast Asia is basically core infrastructure, how people get around the city and how they live their life, right? Like, so, I mean, the moment Grab is down, the city stops moving basically in many of our markets, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what is the core of everything that we do is the stability of our service, right? We really, really make sure that it can never go down and people can rely on it, right? Like that's kind of the core expectation. And that's where we've invested a lot into and like really having very, very solid scalability. We work, I mean, with all the leading cloud providers. We work like deeply with like some of the biggest tech companies in the world to really ensure that. So that's such a, like what we've achieved by really having a 2,500 people tech team that is really every day making sure that our service stays up and reliable.
All right, coming to you, Juan, you work with merchants and businesses across Latin America. In fact, you just announced a partnership with Invest Qatar that will further accelerate your expansion into the Middle East, and you have a new regional headquarter in Qatar as well. Talk to us about that partnership.
Yeah, perfect. So I think one of the key elements of the super app is having all the different local payment methods. And in Rappi, we struggle a lot to connect to all these different payment methods in different parts of the world. And it seemed that we were spending more time doing payment integrations than actually creating features that will add value to customers. So in Juno, we're completely removing that complexity, and we enable companies around the world, like super apps, to enable all the payment methods, more than 1,000 different payment options around the world. As we expand, we have seen the Middle East as one of the key regions, especially GCC. And what we're doing is we're investing and we're opening our regional headquarters here in Doha to be able to serve different companies. We're going to be working with companies like Zonu and different ones in helping them not only connect to local payment methods in Qatar, but around the region.
All right. My next question is for both Juan and Hamad. The rise of regional players versus global tech giants, that is a significant factor. As competition intensifies, how do you plan to compete with the big boys? Hamad.
Yeah, I would say, as super app, it's always, you're going to have always a competitive advantage to sort local problems.
Okay.
As I can give you example, in food delivery, we are the first company in the world. Sorry, Grab and Rappi, but we are the first, yeah? But we are the first to have 4 different environments. We have the delivery, takeaway, but also the drive-through. It's something big here. People like to go. I take my wife many times. We sit in the car. We like to order food, and we eat in our car. This is normal. And we can add the plate number, but also fine dining and big things in Qatar. So we have also Snow Prime, which basically you have a black car, black suit, fine dining restaurant, Hakkasan's example. Select us to be the first partner globally to be online. So to understand the market, but also there's another thing. When there is a successful story, I believe Singaporeans support Grab, Colombians support Rappi, and even South American. When you have local champion, a successful story, you're going to get support from customer, you're going to get support from even business partner, and everyone. And this is basically what is our competitive advantage. But also, without global competitor wouldn't shape up as well. We keep building our, we have, as example, 19 nationalities. All of them came from this global player. We know what they do. Some of them from Rappi, yeah?
Yeah, he stole.
So yeah, we need from Grab now, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, 100%. I think we have competitive advantage that is a little bit unfair because we have that local.
So yeah, basically our goal is to be IPO by 2027 here in Qatar. Qatar have a good record when it's come to fundraising through IPO. Very healthy, multiple times the IPO being, the fundraising and the IPO covered 10 times, 15 times like with the fund 2009. So yeah, our aim to be IPO in Qatar market, maybe dual listing with another market like Hong Kong or Riyadh. There is also another potential market. But also I want to have big shout for the guy who will make 2 unicorn, not 1, 2.
Yes. Your listing plans as well.
Whereas I think Juno is doing amazing. Not unicorn yet.
I know
unicorn,
what's going to happen.
But I think we're going to make it happen. Yeah, I think we're working towards that.
To motivate you, I have 4 unicorn guy here.
Amazing.
He cannot. You have to make 4 like him.
Amazing. Great.
All right. So Grab is already listed, but what I wanted to talk to you about are M&A opportunities. Are you actively looking at more, and is inorganic way the way forward for you?
I mean, we have done a bunch of smaller M&As, right? Like we just acquired like a reservation platform,
yes.
Chobe. We acquired like a supermarket chain in Malaysia a bit ago, Jaya Grocers, right? Like so, it's always definitely there. But definitely the bar for M&A is high. It needs to really make sense for us. So.
All right. What I want to know from all 3 of you is that what has been your biggest learning so far as founders, as you scale, grow your business, and what would that be one advice that you would like to give to startup founders who want to start today? Juan.
Look, I think you have to always think global. There are many founders that they say that they want to focus.
Think global from day one?
Think global from day one. I think they believe that you have to focus and concentrate in one market. I think that's completely wrong. You have the opportunity today to build global companies, and you have to think big. Always shoot for the star. If you don't hit the star, you will hit the moon.
And what has been your biggest learning?
What's that?
What has been your biggest learning?
My biggest learning, together with this, I think we have to always dream big. When we started Rappi in Colombia, we always saw the potential to grow internationally. We opened Mexico a couple of weeks after launching Colombia. Then we opened Brazil, and we operate in 9 different markets. In Juno, we launched in Colombia, and 2 weeks after, we had integrations all over South America. 3 months after, we were having integrations in Thailand, Indonesia. So the people are going to tell you to focus, and I think as an entrepreneur, you have to be crazy. You have to think about big ideas, and you have to execute those big ideas.
Okay, Hamad, your biggest learning and advice?
I would say the first thing is look to horizons, not horizon. And horizons mean you need to look behind the horizon that you see today. So you have So have a bigger vision. The second one, you're going to see many voices around you, like an investor from Silicon Valley telling you your startup's business model does not work. They don't understand your market. Why should you listen to them? And this happened to Sununu. You know your market better than anyone, and you have to stick, with your knowledge, and make sure don't listen to the voices outside that don't understand your market. The third one, as you said, to be global, be global.
Yes.
Hire the smartest people, and I'm lucky to have this intelligent 90 nationalities. Yeah? Hire the smartest people, and trust me, with them, you can change from a solo vision to a common vision. And common vision is a consolidation of multiple intelligent people will come to change your vision and make it something better. And this is the case of Sununu. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Philip.
I would say for startup founders, and I used to be a founder before joining Grab,
Yes.
is whenever there's a big technology shift, it levels the playing field from big and small players, right? Like, I mean, Grab was enabled around the time when the smartphone came around.
Yes.
Like before that, you could not have a mobility app or a food ordering app if there's no smartphone. And right now we have the big trend of AI, right? Like that's a big leveler. So I think for founders now is one of the best opportunities in terms of like starting something. And in terms of my learning, I think what I've learned at Grab is really going on the ground and seeing myself. Where like I deliver food on the ground in Indonesia, in Thailand, and people are always super surprised when I come like with a motorcycle and like deliver like some food, and they're like, what is this big white guy doing here delivering my food? And that's where I like learned so much empathy for our drivers, for our customers. So I think one thing I would tell to everybody in the audience, like really dog food your own product. Go on the ground and deeply learn how people are using it. That's been game-changing for me.
That's some lovely advice from all three of you. One final, sure, go ahead.
No,
Mark.
and I think this is extremely key. The first year in Rappi, I did so many deliveries. All of my Sundays were in the street doing deliveries because we didn't have enough couriers, and I think you learn so much by talking to the users. And many times it was funny, the first time that I was doing deliveries, that was the reason how we found out the payments were actually failing, because people were saying like it's really hard to pay. So you don't even know how important it is to be out there and talk to your customers.
All right. One final question to all three of you before we wrap up this conversation. What are the key trends that you're going to see in the next rise of quick commerce, be it food or grocery? What's next?
I think for us, the big thing is like the wave of generative AI. Productivity of teams will grow by like 5-10x in the next few years. So I think like now it takes you a 50 people team to build, you can build with like 2 to 5 people in the future. That's what I'm really, really excited about.
Yeah, powered by AI, recommendation engine by AI, but also social commerce will be something big. So as example, you know what your friends is ordering at the moment, powered by AI, personalizing their experience.
All right, one.
I see in the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to forget that we're paying. I think biometrics, there is a bunch of different technologies that we're enabling so that you don't have to take out your credit card, put 16 digits. You can just take a picture, you can take a selfie. There are many technologies that we need to do, and the same way you get on a Grab, or you get in an Uber, or you order Sununu and you don't even remember that you're paying. I think we're going to have to see this in everyday life. You're going to go into store, you're going to grab an item, and then it's going to get charged in your account immediately. And I think that's something that we're working on, and it's going to be the future.
All right, with that, I'll have to wrap up our conversation. Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights. And it was an absolute honor speaking with all three of you. And thank you for being such a fabulous audience. Thank you.
Thank you.